The March 30th, 2017 meeting of the Ways and Means Committee will now come to order. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Mr. Ansello.
Here.
Mr. Baroth.
Here.
Dr. Carbone is excused. Mr. Delahanty.
Here.
Chairwoman Draw.
Here.
Mr. Felder. Mr. Hebert is excused. Mr. Marionetti.
Here.
Mr. Morelli. Mr. Moyo.
Here.
Mr. Rocco.
Here.
President Daniele.
Thank you. Will Legislator Delahanty please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Are there any speakers signed up for public forum?
There is not.
And seeing none, to address the committee, I will move on to approval of minutes. The item on the agenda is the approval of minutes. You have the minutes from the February 28th meeting. They will stand approved unless the clerk is notified of any changes by the end of today. The next item on the agenda is new business. Before we do that, I would like to move item number 170111 to the end of our agenda. So that will come after 17-0115. I'm sorry, sure. I would like to move referral 17-0111, take it out of order and move it to the end of behind 17-0115, which will be the last item on our agenda this evening. Okay. So next item, new business, Madam Clerk.
Referral 17-0092.
Moved by Legislator Delahanty and seconded by Legislator Rocco. Is there any discussion on this? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Item carries. Next item, please.
Referral 17-0093, authorize an intermunicipal agreement.
Moved by Legislator Rocco and seconded by Legislator Ansello. Is there any discussion on this? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Item carries. Next item, please.
Referral 17-0096.
Moved by Legislator Rocco and seconded by Legislator Ansello. Is there any discussion on this? I'm sorry, Legislator Morelli.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. Through you to the administration, given that there's additional state funding being directed toward airports, would this project by any means be categorized where that money could be used for that? Essentially, the state grant money could be used as our local share.
Through the chair, no.
Okay.
Any other discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Item carries. Thank you. Next item.
Referral 17-0097,
Moved by
authorize
Legislator
contract.
Ansello and seconded by President Daniele. Is there any discussion on this? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Item carries. Next item, please.
Referral 17-0098.
President Daniele and seconded by Legislator Marionetti. Is there any discussion on this? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Item carries. Next item, please.
Referral 17-0100,
Moved
authorize
by
a
Legislator
contract.
Marionetti and seconded by Legislator Delahanty. Is there any discussion on this? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Item carries. Next item, please.
Referral 17-0101.
Moved by Legislator Delahanty and seconded by Legislator Rocco. Is there any discussion on this? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Item carries. Next item, please.
Referral 17-0102,
Moved
authorize
by
a contract.
Legislator Rocco and seconded by Legislator Ansello. Is there any discussion on this? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Item carries. Next item, please.
Referral 17-0103.
Moved by Legislator Ansello and seconded by President Daniele. Is there any discussion on this? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Item carries. Next item.
Referral 17-0104.
Moved by Legislator President Daniele and seconded by Legislator Marionetti. Is there any discussion on this? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Item carries. Next item, please.
Referral 17-0105.
Moved by Legislator Marionetti and seconded by Legislator Delahanty. Is there any discussion on this? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Item carries. Next item, please.
Referral 17-0106.
Moved by Legislator Delahanty and seconded by Legislator Rocco. Is there any discussion on this? Legislator Barra.
Thank you. Through the chair, but you missed me.
No, I wouldn't miss you.
Through the chair of the administration,
No,
Ow.
No, I meant, I would, of course, I would recognize you, Legislator
Thank you.
Barra.
And on that friendly fine note, we're going to
Yes.
just plow through.
Okay.
Through the chair of the administration, I noticed that CP Ward Inc. came down significantly lower than the other estimates for general construction. Was their bid of $97,700 below the estimate that we originally had for this project, through the chair?
Through the chair, I have the total project, the estimate, engineer's estimate, so I don't have the specific for the general construction. I can get that information for you, but I don't have that with me.
Okay. I would like that, actually, and I would like to know if that particular thing is below the estimate or not. And then, as a follow-up to a question asked in the prior committee on transportation, it was asked about the $50,000 increase to the CIP and the capital budget, and the response was essentially that the prior work was done and that the design work was done that missed the mark, and so it had to be rebid out again. Is that correct, through the chair?
Through the chair, no, that's, if I said that, I said that in error. I said that it was put out for bid, and the contractor, we only had one contractor that bid,
Right.
and they missed the mark of what we wanted to have done. It was much higher than what we had budgeted, as well as the scope of work, what they thought they were going to have to do. They did not understand what we were saying, so we went back, modified the plans, actually split it out into two awards, one for general construction, one for mechanical and electrical, after we talked to our friends at DES, and then got acceptable bids.
Okay, so I'm clear, through the chair, then essentially that the bid came back and it was higher than we anticipated, so we essentially restructured the bid so we had bids that better fit our budget, and it resulted in an additional $50K expense. Is that correct, through the chair?
Through the chair, not all the way up to the end. The additional $50,000 is actually for the additional design work that was done. It wasn't the construction work that came in higher. It was actually the design work by our consultant needed to have more work because of the rebid, as well as some additional design work that we underestimated the work initially.
Okay, so I'm clear, through the chair. The additional funding is the result of our need for additional work from the contractor than was originally specified, through the chair. The scope expanded for the contractor.
For the consultant,
Consultant.
through the chair. Yes,
Okay.
for the consultant.
Thank you. And then the reason I asked that question through the chair is I was wondering if that $50,000 increase was offset by the potential under bid from the CP Ward Inc. of, they're like $30,000 below their nearest competitor, and so I was wondering if that would offset our need to additionally charge to our capital budget is all, which is why I want that information through the chair.
Okay.
Thank you.
Legislator Morelli.
Thank you. Through you, Madam Chairwoman, to the administration, so the additional cost that we incurred for design services, is that because when the bid went out, the contractors provided us inaccurate information? Is that correct?
Through the chair, no, I wouldn't say they provided inaccurate information. We only had one bidder, which that's never a good thing to compare only one bidder. What do you compare it to? Usually you like to have several bidders, so you got hopefully there's some competition. So it was not the issue that there was anything wrong. It's just we clarified some things on the plans to make it clearer of what we were looking to have done, so that they didn't put a bid in to do more work than we needed to have done. For instance, they thought we needed to have a crane do something with the HVAC system on the roof, and that's how they bid it with a crane, which would cost originally, and it would cost us a heck of a lot more money. And so we kind of told them what the weight of the units were, so that they could identify they didn't need a crane. So by putting it out again, we got better. I think there was a better understanding of the contracting community, and we got better bids. Still a little bit more money than what we originally estimated, but lower than the engineer's estimate.
Through you, Madam Chair, just to clarify, so then the additional money, the additional $50,000 being spent for our consultant, that was additional money that we now have to pay out because the original sort of plan or scope of the work was incorrect.
Through the chair, when I said what we had, I would say from my end of things, when we originally put the design amount together, we did not put enough money in for design for my staff as well as the consultant to do the job that needed to be done. And then when we had a rebid, there was additional work the consultant had to do. So that combined with a little bit of the construction, but that's what the $50,000 makes up. Mostly is the design with some construction money.
Okay, thank you.
Any other discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Item carries. Next item, please.
Referral 17-0107.
Moved by legislator Rocco and seconded by legislator Ansello. Is there any discussion? Legislator Barra.
Thank you. I'm going to start with a technical question that's been bugging me. Through the chair of the administration, I note that part of the project is to replace signal loops at each location, and it was my understanding that that very rarely, if ever, actually occurred. So my question is, how often do we need to replace those signal loops?
Through the chair, your first part, that very rarely occurs, is that what you said?
Yes, I did say that.
No, I would say when we're going to mill the pavement, we will probably hit the loops, which are wires underneath, and we will damage them, and we'll have to replace them. You have to replace the whole loop.
Thank you.
So we do that quite regularly whenever we do a mill and resurfacing. If we're just paving and just adding asphalt, we wouldn't do anything to the loops, but when you start milling the pavement, chances are you're going to hit the loop or the wire going to the pull box.
Thank you. I was recalling a prior conversation we had. It had to do with paving, not milling. That's correct. Thank you so much. But through the chair, I actually have a more substantive question regarding the funding on the second page, where we have the breakdown of the cost for this is about $194,000, but we're adding to the capital budget about $287,000. My question is, what's the difference of about $90,000 going? Where's that $90,000 going to be going?
Through the chair, there's a contingency in for the consultant in case we need to amend. There will be in-house costs of our own to manage the project, as well as there's some construction phase services where they'll be might be modifying the design that we have not taken into account. So that combined with that, what the state agreement is for the full $287,000. So this body, we have to be equal to or greater what the CIP has to have, equal to or greater than what the state what's in the state local agreement.
Okay. So through the chair of the administration, not to get too delicate here, I assume it's pretty gosh darn likely we're going to hit that amount of $287,000. Pretty likely that's going to occur through the chair.
Through the chair, I'm hoping we don't get to that amount of money, but it could be close. Yes.
And through the chair of the administration, if we come in under that amount of money, does that money is then refunded to the state?
Through the chair, no. Any money that is not used goes supposedly back into the pot of money that we all compete for in a few years, of federal money.
So,
So if we don't use if we don't use all of that money or all of the estimated $4.7 million, that money will go, that we can't use it on other projects, but it could go, future, we could end up using some of that money.
well, alternatively, another municipality or group could use it as well, correct, through the chair?
It's through the chair, including the state.
Including the state, thank you. And then finally, through the chair of the administration, I know that we're amending the capital improvement program to add on this additional project, the Highway Preventative Maintenance number 5. What other projects are associated with the $4.7 million we're getting for this overall project?
Through the chair, that's the total of the construction that we anticipate
Correct.
and design. That is made up of 7 different roads that I believe are listed in the referral, but I can go through them. That make up that, what we call Highway PM5. We have Creek Street, a section of Creek Street in Penfield, Gravel Road,
Yeah?
Holt Road, Clem Road, all of them in Webster, as well as Phillips Road in Webster, a section of it. And then in Arundecoit, Lake Shore Boulevard / Sweet Fern and Duran Boulevard we'll be doing.
Duran Boulevard.
That's Duran Boulevard is the section of road that goes from Culver Road over to Seabreeze Expressway.
Got it. Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Any other discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Item carries, please.
Referral 17-0108.
Moved by legislator Ansello and seconded by President Daniele. Is there any discussion on this? Legislator Baroff?
Thank you. Through the chair of the administration, am I correct to assume that the difference in funds between of $260,000 and $217,000 is for the same reasons, contingency and internal costs? Through the chair? Thank you. And then through the chair of the administration, I neglected to ask this question on the prior referral, but I'll ask it on this referral. Was this project approved by the Monroe County Planning Board on the 23rd?
Through the chair, yes, it was. They were.
They both were. Thank you, that's very kind.
Any other discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Item carries. Next item, please.
Referral 17-0109.
Moved by President Daniele and seconded by Legislator Marionetti. Is there any discussion? Legislator Morelli.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. Through you to the administration, why is it that the county is acquiring these 2 parcels?
Through the chair, associated with the rehabilitation of that portion of Long Pond Road for grading and asphalt.
And through you, Madam Chairman, were either of these properties acquired by eminent domain?
Through the chair, no, they weren't.
Through you, Madam Chair, could you give us we're acquiring these properties for a total of $285. Is that the market rate, or what would we anticipate the market rate on that, on those parcels?
Through the chair, these are both temporary and permanent easements, so there's no fee acquisition, so it would be a portion of the market.
Okay, thank you very much.
Any other Legislator Baroff?
Thank you. One follow-up question. The referral mentions our environmental review will occur prior to our final action. Do we know when that's scheduled for yet, through the chair?
Through the chair, it's in process. It's with the planning department right now. I don't have an exact date, but we expect it before full ledge.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Any other discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Item carries. Next item, please.
Referral 17-0110.
Moved by Legislator Marionetti and seconded by Legislator Delahanty. Is there any discussion on this? Legislator Baroff.
Thank you. I have through the chair, a brief follow-up question. I realize what the contract's for and that we're going to use it in case of events, but there was an example given recently that we activated the plan and to acquire additional oxygen concentrators from the state. And my question is, when we activate the plan and we actually request services or resources of some variety, who ends up paying for these resources through the chair?
Through the chair, Mike Sayers from the Department of Public Health. These are state assets. The oxygen concentrators are state assets, so the state will be paying for those.
I'm sorry, the state would be whatting for those?
The state provided those assets as part of their pre-positioned stockpile, so they pay for those assets.
Okay, thank you.
Any other discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Item carries. Next item, please.
Referral 17-0112.
Moved by legislator Delahanty and seconded by legislator Rocco. Any discussion? Legislator Morelli.
Through you to the administration, when will the environmental review be completed on this?
The environmental review has been completed.
Thank you. And will this, through you, Madam Chairman, will this property of 9.5 acres be split among the adjoining property owners or just be owned by a single owner?
Through the chair, just by a single owner.
Thank you. Through you, Madam Chairwoman, to the administration, when was this property acquired in foreclosure?
Through the chair, I don't have the date with me, but based on NREM, I would say probably 15 years ago, but I could get the exact date for you.
That's okay. It's close enough. Through you, Madam Chairwoman, to the administration, are there any structures on this property?
Through the chair, there are not.
Through you, Madam Chairwoman, $15,000 seems like not that much money for 9.5 acres. Is that the accurate market rate for this piece of property?
Through the chair, yes, it is. It's a landlocked piece.
And through you, Madam Chairwoman, what was this land? Was it used for anything prior to when it went into foreclosure 15 years ago?
Through the chair, I'm not sure.
Okay. Thank you, Madam Chairwoman.
Any other discussion? Seeing none, all those, I'm sorry, Legislator Baroth?
Thank you. Just one quick question. Do we know if this is zoned as an agricultural district through the chair? And I might have misphrased it exactly, but land reserved for agricultural purposes?
Through the chair, I believe it is, yes.
Thank you. And through the chair of the administration, then I'm assuming that the surrounding parcels around it are also zoned similarly through the chair?
Through the chair, that would be correct.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Any other discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Item carries. Next item, please.
Referral 17-0113.
Moved by legislator Rocco and seconded by legislator Ansello. Is there any discussion? Legislator Morelli.
Thank you very much, Madam Chairwoman. Through you to the administration, when will the environmental review be completed on this?
Through the chair, it has been completed.
Thank you. And through you, Madam Chairwoman, could you tell us if you know the general, similar to the last referral, when the county acquired this property?
Through the chair, would have been 5 years ago.
Thank you. And through you, Madam Chairwoman, I understand that this is a little under an acre. Is $500 an accurate market value for this property, or are we giving it to the town of Henrietta for some discounted rate?
Through the chair, as we do with all of the municipalities in the county, we turn it over for what it cost us in delinquent taxes. And with this particular piece, it should have been with the town of Henrietta because it controls drainage.
And through you, Madam Chairman, is that the reason for the town to be taking the property or buying the property, is for drainage purposes, or do they have other use for the land?
Through the chair, the adjoining subdivision that was approved many years ago required that the developer give the town a drainage easement. Instead of giving them a drainage easement, they split the piece off and never deeded it to the town. So it's going to be for drainage.
Thank you.
Legislator Baroth?
Thank you. I think this question has already may have been partially answered, but through the chair of the administration, my question is, I have no difficulties at all of selling a parcel to the town of Henrietta for drainage purposes. I think it's perfect to do that. My only question is, you mentioned there's an adjoining subdivision that never actually ceded the deed over, and I appreciate that. Was the subdivision or the owners of the subdivision given the opportunity to purchase this property, or was it simply just given to the opportunity given to the town of Henrietta through the chair?
Through the chair, again, it was supposed to be a drainage easement to the town, so the correct purpose would be for the town to control it for the drainage weir that is in place, controlling drainage that comes from that subdivision. There'd be nobody, there'd be nobody in the subdivision, to acquire it, because everybody owns their own piece of property in the subdivision.
Thank you, that makes sense.
Any other discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Item carries. Next item, please.
Referral 17-0114.
Moved by Legislator Ansella and seconded by President Daniele. Is there any discussion on this? Legislator Baroth.
Thank you. Through the chair of the administration, I have a question on the property that's in the town of Gates, the first one. It mentions that there's taxes to be canceled in an amount of about $4,000, and it says, due to an appropriation by New York State Department of Transportation. Could you provide an explanation of what that means through the chair?
Through the chair, as you may be aware, New York State DOT is starting to do work on the 390 Lyle Avenue interchange. The state has acquired several properties there for that project. Once the state appropriates a piece of property, it becomes automatically exempt. So whatever portion they took, or if they took it all, would become tax exempt based on the filing date of the map.
Yeah. Thank you.
Any other discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Item carries. Next item, please.
Referral 17-0115.
Moved by President Daniele and seconded by Legislator Marinetti. Is there any discussion on this? Seeing none, President Daniele. Of course.
Through you, Madam Chair, to the administration. When it describes the north ramp improvements, and it's an $11 million concrete project, can you help me visualize what we're talking about on the tarmac? Is it all the gates? Is it certain gates? How much, I guess maybe in square footage-ish, or or really more of a visualization of what part of the airport tarmac are we talking about?
Through the chair, this particular project this year will be approximately from A2, Concourse A2, which is the inner gate, and then proceed out to about A6. So A2, A4, A6 on the east side of the A concourse, not quite to the center of the terminal building. And in that diagonal, that diagonal, two parallel lines that would proceed down toward the end of the concourse. So that rectangular piece right there between A2 and A6.
And through you, Madam Chair, am I correct that you're talking about the project would include like removing all the concrete that is there and redoing the drainage and repouring that concrete? Is that the project? And if so, just out of more curiosity than anything, how deep is that concrete, roughly?
Through the chair, during these ramp projects, it can go down anywhere from 5 to, I'll say, 8 feet below grade.
It's a lot of concrete.
Not all concrete, but the surface below that needs to be removed and then replaced.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
underlayment.
Thank you,
Any
Director.
other discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Item carries. Next item, please.
Referral 17-0111.
Moved by legislator Marianetti and seconded by legislator Delahanty. I believe there's some discussion on this. I'd like to make a motion to move it, legislator Delahanty?
I'd like to make a motion to move in second.
You should do it. Second by legislator Morelli. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Okay, we're going to go into executive session, please.
Referral 17-0111.
Yes. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Item carries. Thank you. Are there any other matters to come before this committee? Seeing none, I don't see any hands. No other matters. The meeting, the Ways and Means Committee will stand adjourned until April 25th. And at 6 p.m., I would ask each legislator to please leave your tablet at the desk, and the staff will pick them up at the end of the evening. Thank you very much. Have a safe evening.